Hello and welcome to this how-to video. I am Karen Locke-Culp. I am a child development expert. I'm a parent coach, and today's video is going to be all about how to handle the gimmies when you've got a kid who is temper tantruming because they want to have all the presents, and when they embarrass the heck out of you when somebody arrives in your home and they're like, "What's my gift? Where's my present?" Or they get upset because if that person happens to not have a present for them or something like that. And I have a podcast episode that's coming out on this exact same topic. And in fact, this video will end up embedded in that post. But that post isn't coming out until Christmas Day because that's just how the timing worked out. So I wanted to give you a kind of almost a cheat sheet, I think of it, with this, because you got a couple of weeks before Christmas, and if Christmas is your thing, if that's really what the gimmies are all about for you right now, at least you got a little time to prepare. And I like to try and do these. So the podcast is really long form. The We Turned Out Okay podcast is your chance to look into the mind of me, a child development expert. And that involves, I want you to really see my thinking. And so today what I want to do is I want to tell you my conclusions rather than have you see my thinking. And stay tuned, because I'm going to give you the link to a PDF that I have created with these same 3 ideas. So you don't have to take any notes if you don't want to. You can just click the link and go get the PDF. And I got a couple more announcements, mostly involving free copies of my latest parenting book, which is called 10 Secrets Happy Parents Know, but I want to get to that later because I want to get to this now. So when we're thinking about the gimmies, it really has to do with this idea that our kids they understand presence, right? They understand that these are good things that are coming to them and we want them, and they temper tantrum if they don't. Sometimes they'll have an absolute fit if they don't get to have that present, or if somebody doesn't give them a present, or if you're buying things but they're for somebody else and they can't have them right away. And really, the way to break this kind of cycle is to think not about the receiving, but about the giving. And when we can do that, we can show our kids how it's done, and we can have them help us out. So I've got 3 ways, and the first way is that we want to try and make a big day, whether it's Christmas or a family gathering where there's going to be lots of presents, or a birthday or something like that. We want to make those things be more about more about than just the big day. So we want to be able to have our kids focus not just on this one day far off in the future, but today. What can we do to get ready today? So a lot of times I think about how can we involve kids in an exciting time that has to do with a far off day, or what seems to them to be a far off day. Even if it's a week away, it's still a whole week away. How do we wait a whole week, And so what we can do is we could do things like bake, or they could help us wrap gifts. Sometimes kids love to make wrapping paper, which if you can spread out paper bags or butcher paper or something like that with we use Christmas decorations, Christmas cookie cutters a lot. And if you dunk them in tempera paint and then stick them on the wrapping paper and do that kind of repeatedly, you can get, and then you let that dry, and then you've got, your child has done a kind of an art project, and B, it's useful. It's going to be utilitarian because they're going to be able to wrap gifts in it, or you will be able to wrap gifts in it. And so if I'm thinking, because it's really Christmas season right now, or holiday season, we can find Santa Claus cookie cutters, or Star of David cookie cutters, or snowflakes, or things that reflect the season. Mittens, stuff like that. Mittens are really kind of fun because for a lot of us, it's getting cold, and we're trying to find things that kind of represent the season. So if you're making wrapping paper for a birthday, balloons might be a fun, or animals or something like that. Any kind of cookie cutter you can find that will amuse your little one. That's what we're looking for. And so that's one way that you can make a big day be about more than just that day itself. You can also do some baking with your child. You could spend some time, trying out new games, like games that you might play at a party, something like that. Anything you can do to help it be more about now than just that far off day in the future. That's the first way. And then the second way is to help our kids give gifts. So we want them to think of themselves as givers, not just receivers. And that's going to help with this. It's going to help with the Gimmes because they're thinking, I get to give something. And that's a really wonderful kind of altruistic feeling. And then it also helps because it helps our child understand that giving is a good thing to do, and we feel better when we give than when we receive. There's a lot of evidence for that in terms of research, and I know personally when I've given somebody something and seen them open it and just have the thrill of watching them love it and say thank you for it, all that kind of stuff. Those are things that we need to be helping our kids understand, that those things are super important, maybe as important or more important than receiving gifts. And they may not believe us about the better than receiving gifts part, but they will, especially if we're enthusiastic and excited, they'll buy into the idea that receiving is good, but giving is also really good, maybe even better. And then the third way is to create in your home and in your family a tradition of volunteering. Now, this has been a hard thing. This was a hard thing for us to do when our kids were young because we live in a liability conscious state and in a liability conscious part of the country. So I know some places are less than this. For example, my son right now, he's 18 and he wants to be an EMT, and he is having a devil of a time finding a town that will allow him to do a ride along because they're all the ambulances are privately owned. It's all about, you can't let an untrained person into that ambulance, even if they're just going to stay in the background and observe because of the liability, which is really, really unfortunate. And we still want our kids to be able to volunteer. So what I suggest is if you're having trouble because you have a very young children and no one's going to let them dish out bowls of soup or walk dogs or do some of those things that kids like to do to volunteer, that we still find ways to make them volunteers. So if you go to a gym, for example, and there's a mitten tree there that has things that, like, a lot of times a mitten tree will have a paper mitten, and on it is written that there's a 10-year-old girl in your community and she needs pants and a stuffed friend to just cuddle with, and a specific book or two, or games, or something for the reading level of grade 5. I'm just making up numbers here, but if we can get a mitten off that mitten tree and then go and bring our child to the toy store and say to them, okay, this is a 3-year-old boy who really, really loves Thomas the Tank Engine. What can you choose? What if you were that little boy? What Thomas the Tank Engine would you choose? What are we going to give to this little boy? And then they can help you wrap it. And they can, when you go to drop it off at the drop-off facility, they can be there to give that gift. I mean, that's definitely one way of volunteering and bringing kids in on it. Anything we can do to help them see about the giving parts of this season, whatever this season is when you're watching, if it's birthdays, if it's the holidays, if it's some special time for giving in your family, or so when there's some special day coming up that this could be helpful with. That's really what we're thinking about. So those are the 3 ways, and I really hope they help you deal with the Gimmes. There is, if you'd rather read about this than watch or even listen, I have created a PDF, and you can go to bit.ly/kidsngifts. So that's KIDSNGIFTS, because I had to name it something short, so that's what I picked. And when you go there, when you type in bit.ly/kidsngifts, what you'll see is a content upload, and it's called something like How to Deal with Kids and Gifts. And it outlines these 3 ways in a more concise, but also like a way that's written. I like to have stuff written in front of me so I can refer to it. I can print it out. I can make notes. I can hang it up, stuff like that. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. Couple of announcements. I am giving away free print copies of my latest parenting book. It's called 10 Secrets Happy Parents Know, and it helps you control the chaos, get good behavior from your young child, and enjoy family time. And I'm doing a Facebook Live on Wednesday, December the 12th. That's this coming Wednesday. And during that Facebook Live, it'll be on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WeTurnedOutOK. And during that Facebook Live, I'm giving away print copies of the book. So show up. It's an Ask Me Anything. You can ask me whatever you want to about parenting, about kids, about I mentioned before I'm a child development expert. So if you've got a question about if your kid's doing something right now and you're wondering what's up with that, ask it at this Facebook Live. And the people with the questions that resonate most with me, they're the ones that are getting the free copies. So come prepared with a question. It can also be about printing, creating books, whatever you want to ask about. And maybe you'll get a free copy of the paperback version of 10 Secrets Happy Parents Know. I'm also starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 11th, going to get to give away free e-copies of it at Amazon.com. So on the page, the 10 Secrets Happy Parents Know page at Amazon, Amazon is allowing me to give you a free e-copy of the book. And so you can go to Amazon.com and search 10 Secrets Happy Parents Know over there, or I will provide the link right in the notes to this episode. So I've got a couple of links I'm going to provide actually. So I'm going to do the bit.ly kids and gifts so you can get that PDF. That is right in the show notes for this episode. My Facebook page, you'll be able to click to that. And I'm going to have the Amazon link in there as well, because I want you to be able to get a free copy of this book, either a free paperback copy at the Facebook Live or a free e-copy because you went to Amazon between the dates of, I think it's Tuesday through the following Saturday. So through December the 15th, those are the days when you can get these e-copies. So hopefully you will jump in there and grab them, because I think they're going to be great. I think you'll get a lot out of the book. The feedback that I'm getting is wonderful, that people, it's really resonating with people. And I hope it resonates with you too, especially if you can grab it for free, right? That would be so great. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up. If you got something out of this video, if you felt like it helped you handle the Gimmes or anything else, please hit like. That's so helpful. If you'd share it, that's also really helpful. Share it with a friend who is maybe dealing with the Gimmes in his or her home as well. And then subscribe to this channel so that you never miss a thing. All right. Thanks a lot. Oh, I don't remember if I said this already, but this is the last YouTube live video that I will be doing until January the 10th, 2019. I do not think I've actually remembered to say that yet. So thank you for listening and watching all the way to the end, because now you know that this is the last one until January 10th, 2019. And again, thanks a lot so much for being here, for being a part of the We Turned Out Okay community. It means so much to me. And I wish you a really good holiday season. Whatever you like to do at this time of year, I hope you get to do it. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Bye.